I am a welder, not an alchemist. I am interested in the blend of common elements to make a common thing. No magic here, just the heat of my desire to fuse what I already know exists is possible. That's the opening of The Welder, a poem written by poet Cherry Moraga, which inspired the name of our playwriting collective. My name's JR Nexus Russ. My pronouns are he and his, and just thought I'd share a bit about that and how it kind of connects to my own playwriting aesthetic and what I hope to bring to the table. It really makes me think of why I fell in love with storytelling, autobiographical storytelling, and really excited to dive into using that and my own experience with it over the past almost decade now as a kind of playwriting device and inspiration for production. And what do I mean by autobiographical storytelling? Just like telling true stories, as the poem says, common elements to make a common thing. I'm not telling you anything that isn't just the nature of my life, things that happen in any given day or evening. And I guess I'll just share something that happened last week. The last week was my birthday, 1 week ago today, on the 18th. I turned 39. And I was supposed to be having a birthday sing-along at a local bar. And it was canceled. And I'd been looking forward to it for a while. This was the third sing-along I'd hosted of the year. I started doing these because in the years that I've been going to Burning Man, one of my favorite activities was a Broadway and Disney sing-along that a camp would have, and it'd just be the utmost silliest, joyful, random happening of people just singing along to show tunes and Disney songs and breaking out in spontaneous choreography and whatnot. And so I thought I'd bring a bit of that silliness back to DC, my hometown. And so had begun doing it regularly to the point where we started calling the group the Bad Sing-Along Guild, Bad standing for Broadway and Disney. And so this was going to be the third one of the year, and I selfishly timed it for my birthday because I couldn't imagine anything else I wanted to do. So 2 weeks ago, I'm in Miami as all of this social distancing is really starting to escalate here in the States. And I remember getting back from a work trip to Miami and reaching out to the venue. And they said we're still open for business, and we'll be adhering to best practices of whatever we need to. And over the course of the following weekend before my birthday, in accordance to local and national guidelines and recommendations, they ended up announcing that they would shut their doors. And so I kind of jokingly posted in the Facebook group, the venue's closed, but maybe we could do something online. And I wasn't really sure if it would happen. And before I know it, it's the evening of my birthday, and I'm at home on my computer. And someone in the group says they have a Zoom link that they can offer a pro subscription so that we don't have to just reboot the thing in 40 minutes. And then someone else shares some information about how to share sound across devices. And before I know it, it wasn't the sing-along I had planned, but it was the sing-along that happened. It was the sing-along that was possible based on the things that we had at hand. And so that was my birthday, and it was still pretty neat. And so it was a little bit of hope and joy, a little bit of resiliency in a very scary time. And I was grateful for what was possible, despite everything. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Stay tuned for more excerpts of the rest of the poem from other welders over the following weeks, as well as a little bit more about my colleagues in our third cohort. But in the meantime, stay hopeful, stay joyful, stay resilient, and we'll talk to you soon.